That's right! Greetings, fellow armchair Imagineers! Tiki here.
And Blue Dragon 5.
Welcome to the show that comes with guaranteed creativity and a forecast of inspiration. It's time to grab our umbrellas and head to the dry erase board for some Ridestormin! Alright, folks, tonight this is a little bit of a deep cut, and it's also technically did not win a poll. This is the first Ridestormin where I kind of made an objective call. It came super close to winning the poll last week. And Beans as though Better Call Saul indeed is premiering this week. We decided we were just going to go ahead and just jump right into the Breaking Bad / Better Call Saul themed land prompt, Dragon. There's literally not going to be a better time for it. So, yeah, this was a really fun one to put together. One asterisk just as far as the placemaking goes. Dragon, unless you have any ideas, I don't really have a park for this to go to.
Neither do I, no.
Yeah,
we need a lot of land. A lot of land.
I mean, this could I almost want to call this like, it could almost be just like a boutique theme park in New Mexico.
I mean, I'm game for it.
Do you want to just do that? Do you want to just call it a boutique park in New Mexico? Maybe AMC opens it up, gets into the theme park game.
I don't know. What does boutique theme park even mean?
Basically like small scale.
I mean, this is kind of big, though. I don't know if it really quantifies as small. Well,
yeah, but this isn't like Disney big, though. This isn't like, I mean, there's technically areas, but I mean, this is technically like one big land, though. I don't know. I wouldn't call it a full park, honestly. What do you think?
I mean, I don't know. It's kind of like, it's kind of an Albuquerque-Verse in itself. I don't know. It's pretty much it's Albuquerque, and it's big enough to be it's pretty much New Mexico. It's a large portion of New Mexico. So I don't know what to tell you there in terms of like scaling it to Disneyland. I don't know. I mean, we did scale it back, so probably boutique-esque, I guess.
All right. Well, Dragon, set the stage. Like, as far as like the layout goes, why don't you give the audience kind of like a visual or like a paint a picture in their mind's eye, if you will.
Well, essentially, folks, what we're going for here is, Tiki and I were huge fans of the Albuquerque-Verse, which both encapsulates Breaking Bad and Better Call Saul, or chronologically Better Call Saul than Breaking Bad. And, it's kind of like, one could call it like a land of crime and enchantment. It's essentially...
Should that be just the name of the land of crime and enchantment?
I mean, that's kind of the nickname I gave it. But
I like it.
Yeah, so essentially, again, I kind of like to tailor a lot of these, like in endeavored parks, sort of like kind of like that Back to the Future experience, where you kind of walk through. The idea is you walk through the residential suburbs, and you end up kind of the furthest out, basically as close to the desert as we can manage safely, which would be to the junkyard.
Sure.
So essentially, yeah, you're basically kind of going through town. Again, just kind of where where kind of the journey starts with Walter White, which is kind of where Breaking Bad, that whole universe starts anyway, and then just kind of getting to kind of the grand adventure. Kind of like basically, it's like you're kind of walking through the pilot. When you check in with Walter White, you're going to end like him at the start of his journey, which kind of took us to all these places in between with Better Call Saul and what have you. That's kind of the broad spectrum of it. So yeah.
And the desert's pretty much going to be represented. Like, I don't think it's going to be as big scale as Radiator Springs Racers, because if you've been there in person, Dragon, it's pretty.
Oh yeah, well I did. But the Radiator Spring thing, it just meant like you have like the implication, you have like that
the same basic kind of like rock work.
Yeah, you have like that cliffside rock work behind,
right, yeah,
intimating to Hodgely. So the point being, folks, the goal with this whole land is to Albuquerque was like the Albuquerque-Verse its setting was just kind of like a stroke of just kind of luck and genius in that, okay, well, we have to shoot somewhere affordable, but my God, we've made Albuquerque such a lived-in, adventurous place, even though, again, it's kind of like a mundane setting, but again, we found like kind of like secrets and kind of crime, and of course, in the Better Call Saul thing, we've definitely leaned into the mundane of making these blasé locations really exciting and really lived in and comfy and nice, and basically, we've kind of turned it into a tourist spot, but, it's kind of in some senses, there is an actual existing Breaking Bad tour because Albuquerque has been put on the map by these shows.
Mhm.
So it's kind of like taking that premise and we've made it into a theme park. A lot of places to eat in this theme park, but a theme park.
Okay, so I'm going to take that idea. Oh yeah, a lot of places to eat, a lot of dining in this thing.
Because how can we not?
Okay, so I'm going to take that idea, Dragon, as kind of like the real Albuquerque, but you know what one of the problems with the real Albuquerque is, Dragon, as far as like Breaking Bad goes?
What?
You got people that are just coming in and they're disturbing the peace, these poor people. The poor woman who owns the White House and the pizza, not the White House, but you know what I mean.
Well, that's the nickname.
The Walter White residence.
Yes,
and the pizzas. So, Dragon, we're going to give the people a place where they can come and they can see the pizza on the roof without disturbing old ladies who live in the houses. You know what I mean? It's like we're going to give Albuquerque back to the people, and we're going to give the fans an Albuquerque of their own.
Basically, we're trying to, I mean, I'm sure the people who do the tour would not be plussed with this, but you got to remember, when our guys are shooting Breaking Bad and everything, they're always ticked up. They always have to work around the actual tour that is like a traveling RV that's always following them when they're in production, which is what happened during El Camino, by the way. Like El Camino, like they were shooting the big final scene of El Camino, and again, like right around the corner was the tour, so they lucked out by avoiding the tour. That would have been a disaster if they saw Bryan Cranston there. Anyway,
all right, so let's get into it.
But basically, we're doing a version. We're kind of taking the tour's business. We're giving like the whole place is a tour destination versus going on the actual tour.
Right. All right, so let's start with the White residence in the suburbs area.
Yeah, so again, the White House. Again, it's what they playfully call it behind the scenes. The White House. Again, we have a pizza on the roof. And by the way, I would have a sign posted somewhere. And the sign would say, anyone who throws pizzas on the roof will be shot by Jonathan Banks.
Oh, God. Jesus.
What was I saying? Jonathan Banks has made, they made that joke when they did the PSA about, like, yeah, you do that around Jonathan Banks' house, you'll get buckshot. So it's the idea of, like, just like anyone who actually throws.
You know what? I was actually going to lean in the exact opposite direction.
You were going to suggest people try to toss pizzas on the roof.
I was going to suggest not full pizzas, but I was going to suggest that there would be literally an attraction where like you could just like throw a personal pizza up there.
I don't think that's not going to be good for anyone, Tiki. Come on.
A lot of cleanup.
Yes.
I know. Anyways.
Again, there is we do have a frisbee prop that could be fun though. Like there are frisbee pizzas.
There we go. Dude, that's a good way to meet in the middle.
That's a lot more manageable anyway.
Yeah. All right.
So, you have like the Aztec out front. You have the pool out back. You got probably some hidden cash. And the idea is the White House would essentially be like Elvis's Graceland, if you will. Almost like a museum version of like this is where it all started. You kind of feel the history. It's more of like kind of like a Toontown sort of thing. You walk in there, you kind of see the house. It's kind of like Graceland meets Toontown. So across the street, you have essentially a gift shop, which is the Schrader House. So in Schrader House, you have Marie's Purple. What do you like there? Marie's Purple Emporium?
I like the Empire because it ties into Breaking Bad more. Marie's Purple Empire.
Just this humble little business of just all purple items. There's like a no shoplifting sign for irony points.
Oh my God.
Like there's like little purple, like a set of little purple metal spoons with purple handles. You got you have like the one non-purple item that'd be for sale. You have like the one-eyed teddy bear, which are going to be a little sprinkled throughout the place.
I feel like the one-eyed teddy bear is going to be like the big merchandise thing. It's going to be like this land's equivalent to like the Harry Potter wands or
exactly.
lightsabers. It's like you can't go here without getting the one-eyed teddy bear.
Essentially, yeah. So in like the garage section, you'd have Hank's Garage, which has like basically you can buy some Schrader Brow.
Let's do a little mini bar.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, a little mini bar. You got some Schrader Brow. You got they also sell this section. You have like Tuco grills and like the lucite cubes you can buy.
Okay, I have an idea. What if
I haven't told you the best part yet?
Okay, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
In the bathroom, like displayed in the bathroom, Walt Whitman's Leaves in the Grass.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was. That literally, you stole the words right
Oh,
from my mouth.
really?
That's exactly what I was going to pitch.
Tiki, I just noticed something.
What?
We're missing a banner.
I don't usually do banners with this.
Oh, you don't?
No, not really.
Oh, well, oh. Never mind. Go
Maybe
on.
I do, but I don't.
No,
I
no,
don't
you,
really,
you did. Apparently, you've made the decision not to, but okay.
I don't really think it's necessary for this one, just because it's like we got the logo, we got Gus Fring staring right at us. We know what this is.
All right. Well, anyway. Okay. The point being,
Honestly, sometimes the banner's necessary when like the image doesn't really tell the whole story. But I think for this one, people can get it.
All right. Anywho, yes. So you were going to pitch Leaves in the Grass in the bathroom.
That's exactly what I was going to pitch, like word for word, Dragon.
Wow. Okay.
All right. Anyway, like I was almost kind of thinking, like, what do you think would work better? Just like it just being kind of like inconspicuously there, or maybe like is like I don't know, like a Hank Schrader Hall of Fame. Like this is the piece of evidence that put Walter White away.
I'm thinking
Just like just the framed to WW signature.
Yeah.
What do you think?
No, I think so. I think it'd probably be like framed, like it'd be open,
like a frame thing. Yeah,
I think like the book would be open like to.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Yeah,
like behind the
And people would be like, "Oh, there it is."
Yep. That's where the magic happened in the Schrader house. Yep. All right. So down the street.
Although technically that happened at the White House, but whatever.
Oh man.
You didn't realize that?
No, I mean, in the moment, I was thinking Hank, and you're right, it was, but you're right. There was.
It's a theme park thing, though, Dragon. It's fine.
Yeah, that's the thing. Yeah, because of course yes, it's at the White House.
I mean, if you think about it in those terms, like the Schraders and the Whites don't literally live next door to each other.
I know, that's what I'm saying. We're taking
the theme park,
we're taking some leaps. You have that.
But also, that's another thing we should emphasize here. There is going to be some streetmosphere in this land, but I think an important thing to note is that continuity schmatinuity, Dragon.
Yeah, because obviously, folks,
the timelines are going to be all over the place. Dragon, if we tried to fit this into one specific timeline, oh my God, our heads would explode.
I mean, no. Well, Tiki, the real answer is we would just limit ourselves if we stuck with one timeline, because we have to hit the sweet spot of essentially Better Call Saul meeting the first year.
Right.
Could in theory work, but again would limit us somewhat.
So I feel like this is one of those lands where it's like it's kind of like the anti-Galaxy's Edge, where I feel like in some ways it's funny to say it's just as immersive as Galaxy's Edge when it's literally just like suburbs and shit. But in its own way, I think we're going for that kind of level of immersive, like Easter eggs and stuff. But we're just not worried about being in a set timeline with set lore and stuff. It's like basically, Dragon, I think the closest thing to a timeline that we can have is essentially just post Breaking Bad. For the land itself, does that make sense?
I mean, again, we could, but then we couldn't have the main attraction because Walt's alive.
I know. You're right.
The thing.
I'm just saying, as far as actually walking around the land itself goes.
Yeah, I mean, sure, yeah.
Like stuff like the White House being turned into a museum.
Yeah, sure. I mean, predominantly, a lot of it is kind of like in kind of a post Breaking Bad space, but again, there are exceptions. So.
All right,
Pinkman's Place.
Yeah, this is more your idea, so why don't you shoot on this one? I have the idea of Pinkman's Party Bus, which I still kind of like.
Well, I worked in your thing in here too. I mean,
I know. I just really like the idea of just like Badger and Skinny Pete driving around a party bus. Jesse's there, but he's maybe a little bit checked out.
Well, anyway, so Jesse's aunt's house, which is the main location, kind of Pinkman Manor, if you will. It's you have this timed event built into the house where, like, on the hours, like a hallway or like a corridor, because so it could be able to be reset and it won't get on anybody. You'd have like the tub drop, the bloody bathtub dropping.
How is that going to work? Explain the mechanism of that.
Well, I imagine one of two ways. I mean, the more involved way I imagine would be, again, like at a certain time of day, you just have like, again, this corridor, people will not be going down. They would just like they'd be able to stand in front of it, and then basically, there would be like a breakaway latch or something, and then like the tub, and just kind of like there might be like a splatter guard or something up, and it would just kind of fall and make a mess, and people are like, oh wow, and then if anyone walked in, they just see like, oh god, look at the aftermath,
Uh-huh.
or they walk in like, huh. Okay, why can't we go down this hole? And you wonder, oh, what's going on? You heard, oh, you didn't see the giant. Oh, there's like a bloody crime scene.
Okay, I
There.
could see
What?
that. That's cool. That's cool.
Again, we're probably the most like the easier way to do it would probably be like if it were like somewhat of like a projection, like in terms of the splatter and the mess, but like something would drop in terms of
Mhm.
like like something would drop, and then you'd have like a projected thing at the bottom that would be like the splash and like the you know.
Cool. All right.
Anywho, so the point being, you have like that kind of like a timed sort of event during the day, sort of thing that would happen there. Um, let's see. Beyond that, so then occasionally you might have kind of a rave party going on, like Jesse Pinkman was known to have.
I would maybe say that could be like a nighttime event,
Yeah,
like kind of like the Mad Tea Party
yeah.
was.
There you go. That's exactly what you do.
Uh-huh.
You do that. You'd have, and there'd be a kind of somewhat of a kind of a casual gift shop kind of area to it, where you'd be selling bike locks and remote control El Caminos and little Hot Wheels versions of El Caminos and little wooden boxes and keychains with Jesse Pinkman catchphrases and quotes on it.
Oh my
Also,
god.
also Jesse Pinkman hoodies and hats.
Yes, that's
And
important for sure.
during the day, you'd have Jesse Pinkman's answering machine going off throughout the house.
All right, nice.
All right. Okay, so that brings us to now we're just going to move a little forward in our little town here. We're gonna go to the strip mall.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so before we get to the ride, so we have Saul Goodman's office built in here. That's the main draw. There's a lot attached to that, but essentially one of our three to four big attractions is there. Next door, you have Daniel Wormold's laser tag.
Oh man, yeah.
So essentially,
I'm not exactly sure how I feel about this being like this kind of thing. Maybe like makes more sense in the context of it being its own park than in the context of a land.
Well, fine. Do you want to make it a park?
Well, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah.
Well, can I keep it in the strip mall?
Yes, I'm just saying it's like there's not a lot of theme parks nowadays that do laser tag, but there's some though. There's some. Honestly, a lot of indoor theme parks do laser tag. Anyways, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Okay, my point is, so again, we've taken the leap of just saying Daniel Wormold was the guy who's running the laser tag, which again may or may not be true. We still haven't seen it pay off yet, but who knows? Point being, the laser tag place that Saul Goodman, I'm convinced this last season Better Call Saul is going to reintroduce that laser tag place. They gotta. Idea is you have like a laser tag setup that is run, and the idea is it's turned into a cartel shootout. So the way you sell this is you see like some actual like battle damage inside the place. You hear maybe some ominous gunshots going off, but primarily you hear ominous music, Dave Porter score playing like during when you're in the laser tags. That plays giving you like a tense like cartel shootout vibe.
Sure.
So the idea. So again, the idea is you have the strip mall, and inside the strip mall are other businesses, and the other businesses would be other attractions like that. So you have like the laser tag next door to Saul Goodman's office. Around the area, not built into one of the places, but you'd have like outside, like maybe across the street from the strip mall, you'd have Regato Helado ice cream, which of course was the Salamanca ice cream front. So you just have a little cart. Selling ice creams and ice cream sandwiches and like little popsicles and stuff.
I would like to think that they pride themselves in their variety of ice cream flavors, though, Dragon.
Yeah, sure.
I would like to think this is like gourmet ice cream in spite of the cartel.
Yeah, I mean, I like to think it's the nice and simple stuff, but okay.
Oh, I mean, I don't mean like you can get all the nice and simple stuff, but
yeah. Because I want to eat, I want to eat what like the driver was eating, like that kind of popsicle, like something like that, from Regato Helado.
Sure.
Jimenez is the driver. So also you have a Venecia's Pizzeria built into the strip mall. So Venecia's was the I hope I'm saying that right. I think it's Venecia's. Venecia's Pizza was is the pizza that's thrown on the white roof.
Mm-hmm.
And you have the idea is a New York style pizza place that you have to ask them to cut the pizza.
I mean, I hope that's like I could see that becoming annoying, though, if people aren't in on the joke.
Well, you'd have signs that say, make sure you ask them to cut the pizza.
Yeah, there you go. As long as you have signs clearly indicating it, that's
yeah,
fine.
and the gag, and it'd be all over the place in the promotional stuff, like, you save money with, I don't know, something like that, or
Oh,
like,
God.
regardless, you have like a claw machine in the corner that would have nothing but pink bears and pizza frisbees in it.
Yes.
You'd have red Slurpees and big gulps. The red Slurpees, of course, what Combo was drinking when he got shot.
Ooh.
Yeah, going for the deep cuts. Let's see. So then that brings us to, again, so let's talk about our main attraction here. So again,
All right. So first of all, I love the name That's Saul, folks.
Okay, which one do you like? Do you like That Saul, folks, or do you like the rise and Saul of a good man?
I mean, that one's good, but I think That's Saul, folks just really, really sums it up very well.
All right, so the initial thing of this is like you can go into Saul Goodman's office, which is pretty much done to scale as much as it possibly can be. Where you
but there's absolutely going to be a suspension of like, all right, the office is the exterior, but we know the ride itself does not entirely take place within the office.
No, of course. I'm just saying there's like a huge background to like a huge like space behind the office that we're not seeing.
Sure, yeah.
Is like, but you go into the office, it's broken up into two rooms. You have the waiting room, which you go in, there's like a little gift shop of office supplies and Better Call Saul.
Cheesy patriotic music.
Exactly, yeah. And there's maybe like there's a character for Francesca behind the thing, like he's kind of basically the cast member.
Gotta have a heel.
Well, I'm gonna get there.
Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Well, I was going to suggest something other than like walk-arounds for Huel and QB, but just give me a minute. So, point being, you have Francesca there as like cast member, like maybe a cashier, because there's going to be like an office supplies gift shop part here before we get to the really good gift shop later. You have like the mugs and the like the magnets and office supplies like pens, stationery, all that's up in the front. And then you go in the Saul Goodman's office, which again to scale, you get pictures sitting in the chair and stuff. It's a good photo op. Anyway, so in that room, that's where we get to That Saul, folks. So That Saul, folks, is an attraction that is designed to be best way I can describe it. It's Saul Goodman cashing in on his life story in the aftermath of Breaking Bad. It is the implication being, Gene, kind of the path we've been kind of laying out for him in Better Call Saul is that, he's going to be getting out into the world again, and presumably maybe at some point he'll cash in on.
That's actually kind of bold of you to make this like post-Gene timeline stuff.
I mean, again, just thematically, that's where he's leaning to. So he's going to be more boisterous like Saul Goodman again.
I mean, yes, but I don't know. It's like there's also a very, very real element of danger and paranoia with the Gene stuff. We don't quite know if he makes it out alive yet.
Well, again, so we'll again, it's again, it could easily be retrofit if it's
sure.
But anyway, regardless. The idea, so it's kind of like the Carousel of Progress meets a dark ride, a la the Jurassic Park, the scene.
Okay, so Dragon, would you like to explain to the audience really quick the super obscure Jurassic Park thing that we have?
Well, I was about to get into it.
Okay, I'm sorry. Go ahead. This is like a really deep cut thing that the two of us share.
Folks, Tiki and I, Jurassic Park, he and I go gaga for that scene where John Hammond's taking folks on the tour, and basically the tour of how the science behind the dinosaur cloning works. The gene cloning and everything works. Basically, they sit in this auditorium that is like basically moves through the rooms and the spaces. And unfortunately, like Sattler and everybody, they get out of the ride to go walk into the lab, and Tiki and I are in the audience going like, "Hey, no, why don't you go on the ride?"
We're basically the lawyer. We're basically like, "No, listen to the lawyer. You can't do that. It's against the safety rules."
Yeah, I was loving that ride. It was very informative.
Like just go around. Just go around the ride once, and then you can come back and then get off and go to the
save the questions till the end. Come on. Anyway, so that ride has always fascinated me. Again, it's like a next level version of Carousel of Progress, just more kind of like scaled and auditorium size. Now here we're not doing quite an auditorium size. What we are doing is, well, I'll get into the ride in a second. Let me tell you about the pre-show. So the pre-show would be you're in Saul Goodman's office. There's like a monitor on the screen. In the monitor, you'd have Huel and QB giving you the safety spiel. So there'd be like a secret entrance that is like the big arrows pointing to like almost like the Oval Office. How there's like a secret panel in the Oval Office. People kind of walk through a secret door of sorts. In Saul Goodman's, in quotes, Oval Office of law. the columns and everything. There's an entryway into the ride, and you're gonna and basically saying like, "Hey, the ride's this way," and Huel and QB will be on the screen before you're let through the doors, giving the safety spiel of like, "Hey, Huel, you happy? Folks, we want to
Oh
keep
my
Huel."
God! Yes.
And Bill Burr is QB saying, "Hey, folks, we want to keep Huel happy. You know how you do that? You follow the safety instructions."
Absolute. Oh, that's great. That's genius.
And
That's
watch your
genius.
valuables, because if Huel's unhappy, he might.
God, that works so well, Dragon.
You see what I mean? Like, hey, if you make him unhappy, he might take some stuff. He might steal your valuables.
Oh my God.
So make sure you keep your arms and legs inside the car, because we don't want to. Because we know a lawyer, and he'll sue you.
Jesus. All right.
Anyway, so something along those lines. So essentially, you get like a safety spiel with our boys, like on the screen. Anyway,
I love it.
So you get on the ride, and essentially, again, it's kind of like you enter a dark room and you enter the ride vehicle, which is a jury box. It can see up to 12 people. You go into a little jury box. And essentially, the idea is you work. Basically, folks, this is going to be like the ultimate montage of Saul Goodman on a loudspeaker.
How many jury boxes? I'm sorry, Drag. I got to get into logistics here really quick. How many jury boxes do you picture going around at any given time?
Well, again, I imagine you load them in like 12 at a time. So, like, as one's going through, then the next, like, probably, I think the safest way would probably be like 2, maybe
2 at a time going through the theater. That's it.
I'm guessing here. I'm guesstimating. I don't know.
That's way too low of a capacity.
Fine. How about let's say 4.
That's still too low. But
fine.
All right,
how many you want? Tell me how many you want.
I'm saying I like the jury box idea in theory, but maybe each theater has like 2 different jury boxes. Would that work?
I mean, I guess.
I don't know. I'm just saying, Dragon. I'm just thinking as far as capacity goes.
Well, still, it's like 12 people on one thing, though. It's no.
Dragon, do you know how many? Like, have you seen an average theme park line and like what 12 people actually looks like compared to a theme park line?
All right, fine. Fine, shatter the illusion. Okay.
I'm sorry.
Point being, however
I'm the
many...
Roy Disney to your Walt in this scenario.
Whatever, how many jury boxes there are, hopefully you're not looking at the other jury boxes while you're in the experience, but the point being, however many jury boxes there are... Again, there's low lighting, so maybe it'll help. The point being, you're in the jury box. Saul Goodman's narrating his life story on the loudspeaker, unseen, so it's Odenkirk kind of riffing here, and he's basically walking you through, his journey through Better Call Saul to Breaking Bad, and and onwards. And he's welcoming, hey folks, welcome to my life story. So please save all your questions until the end.
Mm-hmm.
So, we go through. The idea is this is going to be like of course, the Albuquerque-Verse is known for their montage work. So, ideally, this is going to be like the ultimate montage in the theme park form. So, they're basically, again, the kind of the dark ride aspect of it here is like, so you start in darkness and you start in Cicero with either a young or 90s era Jimmy and Marco.
Mm-hmm.
Pulling the classic namesake slipping Jimmy Con.
And of course, these will all be on animatronics, right?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So like they're animatronics. So I'm saying, so you basically you emerge from darkness into the first like stage. I think ultimately there's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I think there's I think it's 7 or 8 kind of bits here. I think there's 7 or 8 scenes.
Okay, well, if there's 7 or 8 scenes, Dragon, let's go through them quickly. But
I know that. I'm just telling you how many there are.
All right. I'm just saying, like, we gotta.
I know. I just wanted to lay it out.
Okay.
The point being, just run through this again. You have like either as kids or as 90s era, whichever you think plays better. You have Jimmy pulling the slipping con where the animatronic falls down. You're making like the woe is me con, and then basically as the guy turns his head, he like Marco high fives him. That's the
nice. I like
and
it.
then there's transition music for a monster. You have smoke on the water.
Ooh, good. Yeah.
And that transitions you to the mailroom at HHM where we have the moment where Kim Wexler is kissing Jimmy as he drops the letter where basically Saul Goodman's telling you he graduated from the. That's right, folks. Yours truly graduated from the University of American Samoa, top of his correspondent class, with the future girl of his dreams. Look at her there. Look how beautiful she is. Nothing could go wrong for these 2 crazy kids. So then you have the transition to set to the music from the episode Pinata, the mambo music, as you have like brown suited Jimmy McGill and Better Call Saul. I made some friends along the way, and you have this is where I introduced the 3 light stage system. So the way this works is black stage when you emerge, light comes on illuminating one part of the stage, and then the middle part, and then the next part. So you have like 3 scenes in one stage of animatronics going on.
Okay.
So it's like he made friends and basically.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, they do something similar with Carousel of Progress because they just have certain animatronics hidden behind scrims.
Well, that's essentially what I'm getting at.
Yeah.
So essentially, like you display like a few moments just to kind of summarize like a montage here, where it's like, you're not he's talking to Mike in the toll booth. You're not the loquacious sword, are you? We can all be as blessed as you. Then we have him haggling with Oakley in the middle of the hallway, and then we have him in the HHM parking garage smoking with Kim.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so that brings us to a dark room where essentially Saul Goodman sums up his brother Chuck very simply here, where he's saying, we basically played you're not a real lawyer. You're like a chimp with a machine gun. Mm-hmm. Basically summarizing seasons 1 and 3, and we're in voiceover here, like Saul, he basically says, I needed to establish myself. I needed to do things my way and get out of my brother's shadow.
Do we see do we see the chicanery scene?
I mean, I'd like to. I don't know if there's room for it. I mean, maybe we could work that into just.
I mean, I was thinking maybe you could this could be like another montage style scene, like where the chicanery thing could be hidden behind a scrim.
I mean, sure. I guess we could do that.
All right, I don't want to force you into it. I'm just saying.
It's fine.
That's a super iconic Chuck moment.
I mean, I know. I picked between 2 iconic Chuck moments.
Okay. I mean, by all means, Ray. If you want to just stick to the one, that's fine.
Anyway. So then you have the transition from, again, like the darkness of your inside Chuck's darkened house to the very colorful set to the inflatable music of Scorpio.
Nice.
To the big unveiling, you have as you transition between set pieces.
I love your transition music, Dragon. You're having really good transitions here.
So with the transition, you have an inflatable tube man, as the set spins or as you go through. So you have the the wacky arm flailing tube man inspired, and then you have colorful lights, the summarize the color of Saul Goodman. So out of the darkness, TVs come on in the darkness of Saul Goodman commercials playing, lights illuminating them. As he's basically saying, I got my name out there. I went from old folks to the accused in need. Then you have all these TVs coming on to ultimately in the middle spotlight. You have Saul Goodman by his desk, in the commercial pose, on little headset on, saying, let me fight for you. Just that sort of stuff. And also behind him, the second best lawyer mug in the trash.
Oh man, yeah.
All right, so then we're almost to the end here. So Saul Goodman here, he's let's see. All right, also you play some Saul Goodman quotes during that thing too about lawyers. They're like health insurance. You hope you don't need them, but just in case. Mm-hmm. Anyway, so then this transitions to essentially the bad parts of Breaking Bad form here, which is, that's not to say, as we transition to the next scene, that's not to say it didn't come with some downsides. And again, we illuminate with intense red and yellow lighting. In 3 lights, you have him meeting Walt and Jesse with blue lighting.
It was Ignacio!
Yep, exactly. Have wait, Lalo didn't send you? So that's in blue lighting. And then you have Mike in yellow lighting, threatening him, I'll beat you till your legs don't work, while he's on the floor with the chi machine going on.
Nice, yeah. And
then you have, lastly, with the red lighting, you have Walter White getting in his face saying, you're done when I say you're done. So then the color all fades. We go to black and white as basically he transitions us. And he got
is this going to be an all black and white scene, black and white animatronic and everything?
Exactly. So
I'm always fascinated with those sorts of ideas.
So that's the thing. So the red, yellow, and blue lighting fades away to black and white. It's basically very much like a Goodfellas feel. You have, and this is the last thing here. So basically in a Goodfellas kind of vibe, Saul Goodman's basically putting a Goodfellas signature on the Gene stuff here. It's just it doesn't take a genius to tell that when your client, whose business is so booming he could be listed on the NASDAQ, is a wanted fugitive, it's time to call the vacuum repairman to fix your mess. So, address unknown plays. Like, address unknown. Dun, 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 dun. As basically you see Gene working at the Cinnabon, and basically Saul going putting a signature on things. You're saying, you got to wonder sometimes how long can you live the quiet life alone? And he's basically asked the folks like earlier, like, again, folks, by the way, I hope you sign those waivers at the start of the rise. You don't tell folks about the Gene part.
Mm-hmm.
And it ends basically intimating that he might be coming back, and there's like maybe like a little spark of color at the end as Smoke on the Water plays again. And that's the end of the ride.
I got to tell you, Dragon, that's some really good writing on your part. I think it really flows together very nicely.
And it lets out in the gift shop, which is Saul Goodman's walk-in closet.
I came up with that title, and I'm very proud of it. I think the whole idea is that it's like Saul Goodman kind of like branding out his style of suits.
Yep. So in this gift shop, you have primarily all of the Saul Goodman suits you could ever dream of.
It is like I will admit, of course, I took inspiration from the cold open of Better Call Saul season 6, where not to give away the context of anything, but let's just say there is an actual walk-in closet involved.
So the idea is you have like the best suit emporium you've ever seen in your life.
Oh, totally!
Like all the colored suits.
But this isn't the Men's Warehouse, Dragon. This is the hip and edgy version of Men's Warehouse.
Exactly, and you also additionally you have like other things like the track suits that he wore. You have like some button-up shirts, which I'm dying to find some Better Call Saul button-ups, but I can never find.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And then you have like some Howard Hamlin suits and the Hamlindigo blue knit ties.
We got to have the Hamlindigo blue collection, Dragon.
That's what I'm saying. You have some of that in there too. And again, as I mentioned, you have the mugs and office supplies. So there you go. All right. So that takes care of that, and that brings us to kind of like, I don't know here's the thing. I don't know if we call later on like uptown. I don't know if this is downtown or not. But the point being, we're in kind of like the food district.
I would classify this as still downtown. Honestly, I just kind of think this is the more suburban area of downtown, whereas the HHM stuff is going to be more the business industrial side of downtown.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. I guess it all still classifies as downtown, just the business part then. Okay.
Yeah.
So in this case, we're in kind of the so basically we're kind of in our food section here. Basically the big tourist spot is here. So you have Pollos Hermanos, which first off you have a Gus Fring meet and greet going on.
Gus Fring meet and greets, absolutely. It's like every single fucking day Gus Fring is going to be there having a public appearance. Dragon, come meet Gus Fring. All the employees are going to be super excited about it. Did you know that Mr. Fring is in the building today?
Would you like to meet Mr. Fring?
Oh my god.
Yep.
So Dragon, that's got to be like, we got to have like a rigorous audition process for Gus. Not any old Joe Schmo can play Gus.
Well, of course, you need wear the shoes of Giancarlo Esposito.
Yeah.
Just get some Tom, Dick, or Harry to play him. So anyway, so you have like the same menu of Pollos Hermanos. You have like all the chicken options. You have spice curls.
Yeah. Oh God, spice curls.
I invite you to try a spice curl. Then also you have free refills, and you have the the magical sauces from
all the dipping sauces, all of them.
You get all of them. You get the honey mustard.
Chick-fil-A, eat your heart out.
You get honey mustard. You get French tiki, French and ranch all in one. French. You get that. You get Cajun kick-ass. You get ketchup. All of them. And then behind Pollos Hermanos, you have a little mini attraction. You have the Pollos Hermanos truck, and inside the truck is a ride. Essentially, what you have here is the pre-show is Mike, played by Jonathan Banks, is basically walking you through a job. Like, okay, here's your job. You're gonna be inside the refrigerated car, watching the cargo. Me and the kid, him and Jesse Pinkman, by the way. Me and the kid are going to be in the truck doing, taking you from point A to point B. Don't get any ideas. Whatever you do, don't get out of the truck before we tell you to.
Uh-huh.
So then, of course, and again, it's kind of like a Drew Carey sort of attraction where it's pretty much the mind's eye, and then you're like, everything you see is. I
have a pretty good idea of what the attraction is going to be like. So can I take over?
Sure, by all means.
Okay. Yeah. So yeah, essentially, you're going to be in a. It's essentially going to be like kind of like Mission Space-esque, where each each truck is going to be like a little pod that fits like 4 people or so. In Dragon, there are going to be like a lot of really cool kind of like little details here. Specifically the lighting. One of the things that I did take from actually the Galactic Star Cruiser of all things is how some of their areas kind of like have this indoor outdoor effect on the lighting, where the lighting is kind of like projected to make it look like you're kind of like in an open air area. And I definitely kind of like have that like sort of aesthetic where there's like lighting. It's basically like simulating sunlight seeping through the cracks of the truck. Does that make sense?
Well, I mean, yeah, I just remember, I think most of your lighting would come through the bullet holes.
Well, yeah, that's what I'm saying. As the bullet holes happen, then more light would start to. So at first it'd just be like a little crack.
Yeah.
And then with the bullet holes, it'd be like, oh man, like it actually feels like, like we're in the middle of the desert out here. So essentially the ride would be pretty standard, like gravitron spinny. Basically the whole idea is that the car would be just doing a bunch of quick maneuvers trying to get away. Obviously bullet holes would be riddling the car, with that fancy lighting effect I just described. Some commentary by Mike, and that's about it. Pretty simple.
Yeah, pretty much. What do you think about the addition of Jesse?
Jesse's fine. I don't know though, because I just think that like it's such a Mike centered moment, and Mike was in the truck alone, so I don't know. I'm a little.
But mind you, Mike was in the back of the truck though, so putting him in the front is a change already. So I don't.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah. Anyway, so you have that. So then we have another food option. Again, like no food the same, folks. You have chicken, you have tacos with El Michoacano tacos.
It is kind of crazy that like Albuquerque is literally like we got like a freaking World Showcase Epcot of food offerings here.
Yeah, we do, and it's wonderful. So we have a taco stand. At the taco stand, they would sell little bobblehead sabrecitos, little ice cream little ice cream mascot for for Don Eladio. Okay, let's see. So then we have my personal favorite, the Doghouse. So the Doghouse, quite simple. It's a picnic table, kind of lay out in front of like a little kind of hot dog place, but a really good looking hot dog place, mind you. Those hot dogs look really tantalizing. And, might be some canopy action going on, but around the place, you have some walk around characters. You got Badger and Skinny Pete just kind of walking around, causing some trouble, stirring the pot, and also, like some rock candy meth stand around there. They would probably be hanging around that too.
The rock candy meth is important. Like I feel like it could potentially be in poor taste, but whatever.
Oh yeah, it's rock candy, so it's fine.
I know.
No secret that it's rock candy. Everyone knows it's rock candy.
Right.
All right, so then we go into the kind of the business downtown area. So we have an attraction we're very proud of, the HHM Open.
Yes. So this is essentially Howard Hamlin putting on a charity mini golf tournament.
Yeah. Him and like the other businesses of Albuquerque, and the idea is they represented like holes of the golf course. So you have,
I like that. That each business kind of like maybe designed their own hole.
Yeah. So you have like
that's good. That's good.
So you have like a blue HHM building that'd be Hemlindigo blue.
To keep it simple, I'd probably just have 9 holes instead of 18.
Yeah. Well, that's like mini golf. So sure. Anyways, they have that.
Mini golf. I mean, there's a few mini golf courses where they have 3 18-hole courses. Believe it or not,
I did not know that.
There's one in Tennessee. I did not go to it, but I drove by it and I was like, that is huge.
All right, let's see. So you got the Mesa Verde kind of bank logo for a hole. You have Pollos Hermanos hole. You got like the laundry gets a hole. Maybe the nail salon, the A1 car wash, and maybe just one in general to celebrate the Albuquerque area. Tahajuli, there's like kind of like a desert hole.
Oh, I like that. Yeah.
You have additionally, along with at the golf course, you have a Hemlindigo blue tea stand.
I'm very proud of the Hemlindigo blue tea.
There's like a tea stand that specializes in the Hemlindigo blue one, but also gives you like a sampling of teas and iced teas and stuff. And,
of course.
There's a built-in tea time at the course, though. They're like, oh, hear that bell, folks, tea time.
Oh, my God. Are you serious? Does it work?
Does it work?
Oh, my God. Are you serious? I love the idea. I'm not sure how logistical it would be.
No, just
I
be like
mean,
this.
Greg, you realize that is literally just placated our running joke right there. Like, that is for us.
I mean, yeah, it's for us, but also would help draw up business for the tea stand. Like, hey, tea time, folks. I don't know.
Okay, yeah, but would everyone have to stop or?
No. Just like letting you know, like, hey, it's tea time.
Okay. Oh, all right. That's fine then. That's fine.
Yeah, it's like a little like, hey, get your tea.
Maybe they're giving out like free samples
Yeah,
of the
yeah, like
blue tea.
Like free samples, or like maybe like $1 off during tea time.
All right, that works. That works.
Like anyway, we'll
it basically would be like a tea happy hour.
Yeah, exactly. Tea happy hour. Yeah.
Okay, I like that. That works.
All right, then you have like some golf merch probably around the tea stand too. Like you have like Hemlindigo blue shirts and hats, and like golf clubs, like kind of monogrammed HHM gloves and merch, and that are all golf themed anyway. So then we have there's basically a Mesa Verde ATM, but there's like
for some reason I really fucking like this idea. It's so simple.
Yeah, so there's a Mesa Verde ATM.
You just got the singular ATM.
Yeah.
And then like the bank front, and then the iconic Mesa Verde statue.
Exactly. So that's the idea is you can't go into the bank, but you can use the ATM. And,
I love that. I love that. That it's technically a functioning bank.
Yeah. And then lastly, I guess second to lastly, you have the courthouse, and the courthouse is basically it's like the exterior of the courthouse, and inside you basically leads to one courtroom, which is the attraction, which is the Hall of Lawyers.
Mm-hmm.
So in the Hall of Lawyers, I imagine the way I pitched it. I know you pitched something. I think you pitched something a little different, Tig. I think I streamlined it. Is that you basically have like
I like what you have.
You have a cooler, streamlined version of the Hall of Presidents, where it's basically 12 people.
The Hall of Presidents was literally a roll call. I was shocked when I first did the Hall of Presidents. Like, oh, they don't need, like, they're just there. They're just awkwardly standing around.
So here it's like the 12 lawyers that we've seen and or care about. I'll admit a couple of them are seat fillers, but the majority of them are like the Davis and here are the only ones that are filling seats. The Davis and Maine partners, they would all stand up in unison with Cliff. The point being, you have, like Chuck McGill, Howard Hamlin, Davis and Maine, which includes Aaron Brillin, Davis, and whoever the third guy is, along with Cliff Maine. Rich Schweikert, ADA Khalil, DA Erickson, Bill Oakley, Kim, and basically we would build the Saul Goodman, Kim Wexler and Saul Goodman. So your 12 pillars of law, basically answering the question that was posed to Jimmy at his big hearing, the termination hearing. What does the law mean to you?
Oh my God.
So again, each of them kind of summarizes like their experience in law and just kind of what basically.
And it goes from very mundane to just Saul Goodman delivering like a blow the house down speech.
Exactly. You had the big. And then briefly, you have Loyola's Cafe, which is like a big mainstay in the Albuquerque-Verse. And what you do here is this is a normal cafe, specializes in breakfast and lunch, but the breakfast specials are all specials divined by Walter Jr.
Yeah, because like Dragon, the whole thing about this is that we were just like, okay, we got to have a Walter Jr. breakfast place of some kind.
And also, here's a. I don't know if I told you this or not. So you have like on your birthday, you get a free breakfast with like your age
with the bacon. Oh my God, yes,
bacon. So you tell them. So when you claim the breakfast and you tell them how old you're turning, they break the bacon into.
Oh, I love it. I love it.
And also for lunch, you have like the Gus Fring Chilean stew as an option. So you do that as like your soup option or whatever. Okay, then lastly, it's all you, Tiki. So we're on the outskirts. So the idea is the furthest point of town. You're overlooking Tahajali in the background. You're at Old Joe's Rocker Salvage, which is the junkyard from Breaking Bad. So, what do you got?
Okay, so the idea is that as you're walking in, you see the RV in all its glory, Dragon, but you also see that it's about to get crushed. You can see like it's on its way out. It's on its last legs. It's riddled with bullet holes. The glass on the windows is all broken. But you're basking in it, and essentially it's the same sort of moment as you walking up to the Millennium Falcon at Galaxy's Edge. You're just like, oh, there it is, and then you go into the office for the queue. You maybe wind around some junkyard. I gotta be honest with you, I don't exactly have because with Smuggler's Run, I think they do a really excellent job of getting you from the point where you're, looking at the Millennium Falcon to actually boarding the Millennium Falcon in the queue. And you're not really logistically thinking like, wait a minute, we're not in the thing that's parked out front of the ride.
Right, yes. But yeah, Joe's office to the junkyard. By the way, Easter egg, in the junkyard, you'd have like some 747, 37
Oh,
parts
that's
from
cool. Yeah,
the
yeah.
plane crash. So anyway, yeah, go on.
Okay, point being though, Dragon. So essentially, I have 3 acts to this little madcap simulator of ours. It'd be basically about twice the size of a Star Tour simulator, and you would have 2 animatronics instead of just the one. You would have a Walt and a Jesse animatronic. Of course, Walt would be driving.
Mm-hmm.
And the whole idea is that we got to get the hell out of Dodge, Dragon.
You have them bickering along the way.
Right. You know what, Dragon? I'm going to kind of like have this as maybe like an untold story from season 3 of maybe a time that we didn't see where the cousins came the closest that they ever did to getting Heisenberg. Because I do want to work the cousins into this just because they're such an intimidating presence.
Why is it have us walk around?
Well, I think they would be good walk-around characters, but I'm just saying, like, how cool would it be if during this ride, like, maybe I'm thinking kind of like you're going through the desert and literally you like the first thing you come across are the cousins and they're just like in the middle of the desert just staring us down. Maybe one of us gives like the come hither gesture from the last episode of Better Call Saul, you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, well, again, come hither is the wrong way of putting that, Tiki, but yeah, it's like come here.
Yeah. And then from there, it would kind of go from the cousins are chasing us, but Walt's basically like, don't worry, Jesse, they're on foot, we're on it, we're in an RV, we're fine. And then come to find out, they've got backup. There's other cartel members on their trail. They have to weave in and out of rocks to get away from the cartel. And then somehow, I don't exactly know how, but somehow the police get involved. Probably just because of the shootout element, right? Like, yeah. The police are getting involved not because they recognize Walt as Heisenberg or anything, but just because it's like, okay, like this is a high-speed chase, like we clearly gotta intercept it. And so eventually Dragon the Attraction culminates in kind of like from all sides. The cartel's chasing us. We're having bullet holes fly through the windows. Importantly, I think with the simulator, you have of course the main screen, which is looking out, obviously the main window of the RV. But then also all the other windows are also screened. So you see the action kind of passing you from the sides too. And Dragon, basically the attraction culminates in Walt taking like a leap of faith, like almost like a Thelma and Louise style leap of faith of, like there's nowhere to go, Jesse. I have to just trust my maneuvering. I know, like basically it's a really fancy, just like he drives straight off a cliff and just maneuvers a really steep incline just enough, Dragon. And of course the simulator is like, the simulator is like really pointed, like, we as guests are like, we're up in the air at this point, like almost vertical as the RV just kind of like careens down this super steep incline, and it's super tense, like, oh, are we gonna make it? Are we gonna make it? And we make it, and we make it back to town. The cops and the cartel get into a shootout with each other, and they are none the wiser. And that's it, Dragon. You went all in on the Goodman pitch, so I feel kind of embarrassed that I don't have as much detail for this, but generally speaking, that's my idea. It's more of an outline, but
I might have approached the beginning of it a little differently. I gotta have
like the cousins at the beginning.
No.
It was like a Darth Vader.
No. I'm not. No, the cousins are fine. I'm saying what gets us into the RV.
Okay.
What would you think of this? What if it was, because I've done this for fun a couple of times. What if you just had the ideas of like an orientation of sorts where Walt and Jesse begin to cook inside the RV. And they're showing you how it's done, and then basically it turns. Again, mind you, I'm saying this like the pre-show sort of thing. Like it's playing on a screen, like, hey, we're okay. And so we're introducing you to our little enterprise here. Here's how here's the cook process, which again, there shows you how they actually make the meth. Which is they've done this from time to time. Cranston and Aaron Paul, And then they realize, oh god, they're here for us again, kind of like the Libyans from Back to the Future. It's like it's the cousins.
The Libyans.
And you hear like a ding. It's like here's what you do. You reveal like on the screen like the cousins like they're dinging like a trashed bike, thinking of their uncle. Like, ding 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 ding. And then they're walking towards them, and just Walt panics. It's just Jesse, get behind. Just sit down. Everyone, buckle up. We gotta go.
Totally.
And then it just leads to basically what you pitched. And I'm not sure.
Do you like the idea of though the cartel and the police both being involved, and then I got to admit, Dragon, I am very proud of that finale.
Well, I mean,
just kind of like the dangerously going down the super steep hill to get away.
I mean, I think the steep hill, the Thelma and Louise thing, I'm not sure about, but I kind of wouldn't it. Part of me wants them to kind of end up in the junkyard. Thinking about it, what if that was like where they ended up? Like I don't see
it.
I don't know that thing. I'm not sure about the start in terms of location, but I don't know. It's like Walt going for the Thelma and Louise movie is what I'm having trouble with. But overall,
forget I even said Thelma and Louise, because you're not exactly like I said, it's less going over the cliff and more going down the cliff.
Oh, okay.
Does that make sense?
That makes a little bit more sense, yeah.
Like you're just like it's a very, very steep incline. It's obviously not safe, but Walt's just like he's gung ho. Like I say Thelma and Louise because it's like his only option.
Yeah, I'm thinking like you have a moment where it's like, no, Mr. White, wait, don't do it, don't do it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Jesse, hang on.
right, exactly. Right.
Okay.
And then, of course, being a junkyard, we have to have a magnet stand, Dragon.
Yep, with Jesse Pinkman here talking Jesse Pinkman magnets that say
magnets. Oh.
Also, I don't know where to put it. I'm just gonna put it in the junkyard. You have like a little curio stand of Todd Atwish's creepy snow globes.
Oh my god!
All these creepy screwed up snow globes. These little snow globes stand. And like a little Easter egg, you have like some buried barrels.
I gotta tell you, Dragon, like, we kind of went into this knowing that we were gonna have like a lot of food. I think we're knocking it out of the park with the merch too.
I'm all about that merch too. But also, you have like some Easter eggs, like the buried barrels, some pants, and mask. Like in the deserts, kind of call it back to the original. That's it. That's the land.
Okay. All right. Well, LEB did briefly join us. I just didn't figure out a good place to shout her out, but she says, Jesse, we need to make an e-ticket, Jesse. Yeah, Mr. White. Yeah, science. All right. Okay, so Dragon, overall, what do you think? Do you think we did good here?
Well, I mean, it's a land I'd go to.
Yeah, I gotta say, I do think out of everything that we've done on Ridestormin, this is like easily the most blue sky. But I had a lot of fun with it, though. All right. Well, folks, the blue skies mean our work is done. But you better batten down the hatches, because there's another storm coming. That'll be a bigger and better ride of tomorrow than ever before. Remember, if you can dream it, you can do it.
Better call Saul.
Just one taste, and you'll know.